Hello and welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show I am Michael Pinter, where I teach you how to start flipping or wholesaling houses, or if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. Got a great question today, which is what tools should beginners use when they start their real estate investing journey? So the most important tool you can use is a valuation tool. Now, I am a firm believer that every person who does this should get their real estate license wherever you are. Okay. And the main reason you want to get your real estate license is so you have access to the MLS, the multiple listing service. For all the people who are objecting, I will tell you just to start that getting your real estate license is simple, inexpensive, easy, not very time consuming. I have many posts on why and how I think you should do it. But there's three main reasons to do it. I guess I'll just go through them quickly. The first one is access to the MLS, the multiple listing service. The second one is to list your own deals, whether they're wholesale or retail. So if you're flipping, you got to list your deals and be in control of that listing. Or if you're wholesaling and the property is vacant and certain circumstances, you can list it. It's perfectly legal. And then the third reason is because you're going to come into contact with sellers who just want to list, and you might as well just take the listing and make some commission on it. It's free money. So, and it's not complicated. It's simple. It costs $107. You take a $99 course online. You take a book out from the library, which will help you study for the test. It's $8 to take the test. It's easy. Fail the test once, just take it again. Easy. So, the first is evaluation tool. So you should be licensed. If you're not licensed, then you can use a tool like PropStream, RealFlow. There's nothing else in New York that's as good. There are good tools in other places, like Property Radar is good in other places. What else? I mean, there's tools that are specific for each area. So, if you don't know when you're coming to a new area, like in Texas, there's Propelio. There are really good tools in other areas, but in our area, in New York, pretty much the MLS is going to be the best. Now, in some places that gets complicated. In Jersey, every single county has a different MLS. If you want to go in different counties, I would say start with one county and then build up to other counties. But you can use PropStream nationwide. It's pretty good. Evaluation's okay. Gives you a lot of good data. Now, as for marketing, right, it's very hard to answer that question because it really depends on how much time or money you have. You have to either put in time or money when you market, right? You can put in money and you can get the best ways to get deals, which are incoming deals. So you can pay for pay-per-click or pay-per-leads. I've discussed, need to sell my house faster, iSpeed to lead. What else? Or you can spend money on mail and have people calling you from mail. Those are expensive. The less expensive ways are to buy a list, possibly from PropStream or from Listability, and then to take that list, skip trace the list. So that means you get phone numbers from the list, and then call or text the list, which is much less expensive. It's simple to do. So that whole method that I just told you will cost you under $1,500 and should last you 6 to 12 months. That's less expensive. So what tools can you use? So if you're calling, you want to use a predictive dialing system, which are about $100 a month. There is Mojo Cells, there is Call Tools, there is Ready Mode. These are all predictive dialing systems. What they do in a nutshell is dial out multiple numbers at a time, and when somebody picks up, they connect you. It is not, so even if you have a 10-line dialer, for example, it's much more than 10 times more efficient than you dialing with your finger. Because when you dial with your finger, what happens is you're looking at the list, and then you dial 1516, and then you realize, oh, I should have been 631. It's much less efficient than having a predictive dialing system. So it's not just the fact that you get multiple numbers going out and they're going to connect you when somebody picks up. It's the fact that a system is automatically dialing for you and you're not dialing with your finger. Dialing with your finger is extremely inefficient. So it's as much as like 75 to 100 times more efficient. So you want a predictive dialing system if you're calling. Now, if you're texting, you want a texting system. You don't want to be texting straight from your phone. You want to be using a system like Launch Control or Lead Sherpa or Smarter Contact. There's a lot of systems that work. You can use any of them. They're going to cost you, right? So that predictive dialing system for calling is going to cost you maybe $100, $150 a month. A texting system is going to cost somewhere between $400 and $800 a month, depending on what system you use and how they bill. So those are the simple ways. Now, tools. I mean, if you want to send mail, mail is, 48 cents a postcard, 48 and a half cents a postcard. That's what it's going to be. But if you're going to do mail, I would tell you use a mail house, right? Do not, print the postcards yourself and like stamps. So there are a lot of mail houses, a million mail houses. I use it, Yellow Letter HQ. That's out in San Diego. There's a million mail houses between San Diego and New York. You can use any of them. Should not be paying a lot. Just understand that if you're going to mail, you must mail that same list multiple times. If you don't mail it multiple times, you're wasting your time. And this is counterintuitive, I know. You may think, well, if I have somebody on that list that really wants to sell and I sell them a postcard, they're going to look at the postcard and they're going to call me. There's much more of a luck factor when you send out mail. And right, you have to hit that person on the day where he wants to sell. And he may not have wanted to sell any day until that day. And when you mail out 5, 6, 7 times, you increase your factor by a lot, right? They say the harder you work, the luckier you get. Also, when you send multiple mail, you convince the seller that you are serious about buying it. Whereas a lot of people dabble in it. Not a lot. Most people, when they go into mail, they pick a shitty small list. Oh, I found a list of 400. I'm going to send them out postcards. Oh, I didn't get any leads. This sucks. You have to work with big numbers. You need like 8, 9, 10,000, which is expensive. One mailing to a 10,000 size list is going to be almost $5,000. So understand clearly, mail is expensive. But use a mail house. Do not, stamp these things yourself. Stupid. They'll end up being cheaper than you buying the stock, printing the stock, and paying the postage. I mean, 48 cents. The postage is like 30 cents. So think about how much you're paying them for everything else that you're getting. What else? Those are really the tools that I would use as a beginner. But again, most beginners should not be mailing. It's too expensive. Inevitably, you're going to send out some mail. You can send it once, say it doesn't work, and you're just going to flush your money down the toilet. Right? You need to plan. Whatever marketing you're doing, you need to plan. Whether it's time you're spending, you need to be focused on spending that time, doing it repetitively. You need to be persistent, consistent. And whether it's money you're spending to have somebody else do any of these things for you, or money for the things that we discussed that are expensive, you need to be focused on doing it for about a year. And that's a lot of money. That's really why most people fail, because they dabble in marketing and they don't do anything with it, right? And they believe, well, I'll just get one deal and then I'll pay for the rest. It doesn't work like that. You need to have, you can market for 12 months and get nothing. And then one of those deals comes out, turns out, one of those leads turns into a deal 7 months later. You need to do some kind of marketing consistently that you can afford really for 12 to 18 months, or don't start it. So what other tools? I mean, the best tool, at the risk of being immodest, is watching all my videos, which I pretty much tell you everything on my video. So luckily you found the greatest marketing, the greatest YouTube, channel in the world. So congratulations on that. Or if you're watching on Facebook, congratulations on finding me here. Because I'm just giving away the store for free. So again, I hope this was helpful. If you're interested in all the ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com or learntoflipandwholesale.com. What else? If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching any media channel, please click the thumbs up. The likes have been really helping me, so I really appreciate everyone who's been liking my videos. And as I said, the purpose of this channel and the purpose of it, however you're watching me, is for me to answer your questions. So please keep the questions coming. I post 5 times a week. I would tell you that the amount of times I know what I'm going to talk about in this video more than 10 minutes before I do the video, I can count on one hand. And I've been doing these videos for 3 years at this point. I don't know when you're watching it, but I'm doing the videos really for a long time, and many years. And I just don't know what to say, right? And I foolishly assume, well, if I did a video on a topic 3 months ago, that everybody's seen it, and that's stupid, right? Because you may be watching me for the first time, you may have no idea about the answer to that. And sometimes I want to say, hey, why don't you just search in the channel? But I don't even know if you guys know that, or you don't know what to do or how to search in the channel. So any question you have, just ask via the comments. And if it's something simple, I'll just reply with an answer. That happens a lot. If it's something that I've covered recently, I'll send you a link to a video, sometimes multiple videos. And if it's something that I haven't covered in a while, or I haven't covered ever, I will do a brand new video on it. So I really appreciate everyone who's been liking, thumbs up on my videos, and everyone who has been watching. So thank you again. Thank you all for liking and for watching. I really appreciate it.